Just tell me when the stream comes on there.
What stream? You haven't given me a link.
I'll use them.
I'll use them.
Ah. Oh, by the way, Skype is free. I mean, it offers premium services, but I mean, I just remember the. Thank you. Wait, YouTube? You're streaming on YouTube?
Yeah, I'm just putting it on YouTube for now.
Sure, go for it. Okay, I'm shutting the audio of the stream off, like, if anything.
Oh my god, are you really? I mean, not the game. The game is messing up.
Oh, I was ready to say, what the fuck? No, it wasn't, but...
Okay, so... How the hell? Hang on 1 minute, it's throwing an error. Alright, hang on 1 second while I check out what's going on here. I found the error. Give me 1 second here.
Sure.
Okay, it should be streaming now. You should be able to see it. It's loading in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Alright, so you can see I'm on top of this castle right here.
Well, not yet. There's a
Yeah.
stream delay, but...
I'm going to turn my status box on here and you can see my... I'm just going to look out where I can't see. And I've got my little box up and you can see over on the right hand side it says client FPS. I'm at 82 right now. Like 82 to 85 in that range. You'll see that. So like right here, if I wanted to see further, but take an FPS hit, I can scroll my mouse wheel, and I've got.
I'm trying to see, like, in the distance. Scroll your mouse wheel, and I will see the rendering distance. I guess, like, stuff are just gonna disappear eventually.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. When I scroll the mouse wheel, let off your push to talk, I'm echoing. When I scroll my mouse wheel, I have short range combat mode, mid range combat mode, and long range combat mode. So if I go into long range here, you can see how it gives me that extra distance. Like I can see way out now. This is further than most people can play, but it's tucked my FPS down to 30 into the low 30s. So if I wanted to see at a great distance like this, I can do this and see at a great distance. This is probably, I'd say this is probably about 2.5 to 3 clicks. Yeah, I could easily see 2.5 to 3 clicks here.
I can see that.
Then if I mid-range takes me back, instantly you can see my FPS jump right back up as soon as I go back into mid-range. And then like if I was in a town, I could go into short range. Short range brings it just right around me here. Like imagine if I was fighting people right in this area. Look at the boost on my FPS now. I'm in the hundreds here. So it would be really easy for me to fight stuff right here and have extremely good FPS. Right now I'm on Arma 2, which is unheard of, with 120 FPS in a short zone. Like this is just, people don't get these kind of FPS numbers. And then it's like, okay, instantly change it out right there. You can see sacrifice FPS just to see a little further. And it's like, oh, I need to see in a great distance over there. So now I could look. Everything looks good. We'll go back to mid and then I can push down. So you can see what I'm saying, like how quickly you can hop through stuff like that. You can see how much of a game changer that's going to be.
Do not misconstrue what I am about to say.
Fire away, cowboy.
It is a working solution.
Yes.
But I feel it's not an optimal one.
There really isn't one for Arma. Just to change those settings, you basically got to go into your graphic card settings every time and adjust them up or down to get that same effect. And you can't do that in the middle of combat. You don't have time to do that. It's just too long to do that. And then I could do that auto. I could make it automatically do that for you, but then you don't have control. Like if it's auto doing it, like if you were in a wooded area, it would assume that you would want it on medium range. But that ain't always the case. If you don't get to choose, sometimes it's going to make assumptions for you that are not to your benefit. By doing it like that with just a scroll wheel, you get to choose how you want it. Show you here when I'm going to go down into town, and I'll show you what kind of improvement you get when you're in a town area. So like right now I'm on medium, and you can see this is typically the FPS I got right now, 30s to low 40s.
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you'll see I jumped out of the chopper.
Oh, you're still flying, but okay.
Okay, you'll see when I jump out here. I'll just stop right in here. It's jumping around between like 38 and 45. This is typical for Arma. Actually, this is high for Arma because of the tweaks I've done, but this is typical what people see. I can see it jumping around to 36, and this is in a town. So like in this area here, if I wanted to go into urban combat or CQC, I could go into short range, and now you can see the boost I got. I'm already in the 60s to 70s here. Come right back over to the same spots I was just at. 50s. So you can see I went from the 30s. I'll just go from here. Oh, wrong thing here. Still working out some stuff here. So long range, you can see how far out. And you can see it just killed the FPS. Like now I'm down into the 20s. But see, I don't need to see those hills. When you're in combat in towns, you don't really need to see all those hills in the back. So I can go into short range here. And you can see it made them hills fade out. But it gave me a huge FPS boost while I'm in town.
Believe you me, Travis, it's an impressive thing what you just did. And I know your Arma is gonna be, in essence, not a public game. But I still stand by my statement. It is a working solution.
Oh, it's definitely working, that's for damn sure. You can see that in the FPS.
You know, like I'm looking at the UI and stuff and things that you're doing. You know what it reminds me of at this point?
What's that?
Games that were made in the roughly the 2000s.
Okay.
Roughly. Okay. Like some things, I'm getting that feeling. It is not a good or a bad feeling. For me, it's more of a statement than a criticism. Like, I know sure as hell that I don't know how to do the things you're doing. But what I am saying is that I know better than most people that one's view of things, if they're in the, if they're immediately involved, is way different than the view of people that are not immediately involved. And as a people looking from the outside in, I can tell you that you have a good solution. It's a working solution. It's not an optimal one. In essence, everything is done by the scroll wheel, unless I am mistaken.
Yeah, I used to have it. You're on your button.
Yeah, I know. I'm still.
But I echoed.
Oh, why?
Because you got your speakers turned up in the background really loud. I used to have it on the toolbar here where you could right click and stuff, but I wanted to put it on the scroll, like where it scrolls over here. Eventually it'll say like combat modes or something, and then it'll be a sub menu of that, but I just put it under the scroll wheel. That way whenever you're actually aiming and things like that, you can still, like where I'm right here aiming, I can hit it and I can change it while I'm actually in aim mode. If you notice the way I've got it.
Yeah, I'd say use a hotkey. By the way, if you could help me with the LG...
Well, no, I'm not going to set it up as a hotkey. I'm going to let users, if they want to set it up with a hotkey, they can do that.
Okay, so you will have that option.
Yeah, I will make it have a hotkey.
Also, now that I'm looking at it, skill level looks counterintuitive. Blood level sure as fuck is counterintuitive. Let me see, yeah, just about that. Like the other stuff, I don't really have a thing to say, but like blood level and skill level are highly counterintuitive right now.
As far as like what?
Like from the outside looking in, I can't tell you what 12,000 is. Like, 12K. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
I don't have a sense of perspective.
Yeah, yeah. You'd have to play the game a little bit to see what that is. Skill
Yeah.
level, you get that from
No, I
kill.
know what it is, but I don't know how much is 125k. Like, I don't get a frame of reference. In essence, like Viper kills, I understand. You've done 64 kills in your playthrough. You've survived for 219 days. You have your FPS. You have done zero friendly fire. You're the only one online. The server is online for 12 minutes. I know
Okay.
that much.
Okay.
But I don't know what 1200, I don't know, 12k in essence, 12,000 blood level means. Like, I don't know what that means.
Um, that's your total amount of blood that you have.
Let me present with you with an example, okay? I have my wall right next to me, and I'm pushing my wall, and my wall moves by 0.0000001.
Right. Do you see my blood level? I'm on a building.
Not yet, but you will be on a building. What are you,
Okay.
fucking time traveler?
Now I just jumped off the building and I'm bleeding. So the status box on the side shows my blood going down, and then you can actually see that blood level. You can see the percentage or the numbers going down now from 12k. You can actually see how much blood you've got.
But not in a percentile manner.
Yeah, I mean,
What
I could
am
change it
saying-
into a percentage thing. People wanted to know the exact amount, though. They didn't want it in a percentage.
I'm not saying that you should switch it to a percentile, but what I am saying is that normalization would work. Like, so you could tweak things around, so your total blood would be, I don't know, like 10k or 20k, or something that's easy to calculate. If one
It
wants
is.
to do the
There's a
math.
reason it's 12.
Armor, I guess.
No, no. I've made it like that on purpose. Do you see the let me show you here. Get over here where I can do it.
By the way, did you understand my example?
Yeah, see
I
what
told
it
you
is,
about
it's
the
broken
wall.
into levels. Let me do a search here just to, oh shit, damage myself again. I'm gonna go down here in blood a little bit to do this to show you. So, do you see the little flashing thing on the side where it's orange right now?
You mean your health bar? Yes.
Yeah, where it's got the little orange thing flashing.
Well, not yet on my end.
Okay,
but
you'll see it right here in a second.
I see your health going down. You took damage somehow.
Yeah, I'm gonna bandage right here in a minute.
Yeah, you're currently bandaging. But I know you want to present your case right now, and I know you have a strong argument for it.
No, I'm gonna show you what it actually is right here in 1 second.
I know, but until it shows me that thing, let me present you with my case, because you're living in the future as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
When I told you that I pushed the wall and it moved by a number that I just called out, I didn't even give you a unit. It's like, what is 0.0000001? Like, what is it, meters? Is it kilometers? Is it inches? Is it feet? Like, what the fuck is it? Like, for starters.
Do you see the little red square around the health? You see the little red box?
Yes.
In 2400 increments, that goes all the way up to green. So that's why it goes up to 12,000.
So it goes up by 120 apiece.
No, 2,400 apiece.
Oh, 2,400. Why? It's scripted that way, I'm guessing.
Yes, on purpose.
Why?
I use 24 because think of it as like the hour, the clock, 24-hour clock. Think of these numbers. I have it so that over time you can lose health and food and water and everything, if it's going to be over time, what would be the best possible number to use? 24, because you got a 24-hour clock. You understand?
124. Yeah, I get what you
24
mean.
is your best clock. If this server is run and things happen based on that 24 mark, if I go across the board making all the math calculations based on the number 24 and how I use it and the other stuff, it makes things a lot easier. So a lot of thought was put into that 24. Like your food and water and all that stuff goes down over time. All that is based on mathematical formulas that me and Lauren came up with 24 being the number, or like the full cycle of a day. And then I've done the same thing with the health. The health cycles go up in marks of 24 because I have other things. And instead of like having, some things at 10,000 and some things at 2,000, trying to remember all that stuff, it's easier just to do it in increments of like 24.
I understand that. I understand that. I understand that argument of yours. But then again, if you eat something, I can't really use my hand and take it out of you, but people can shoot at you. So what I'm saying is that HP is a value that can be influenced in other ways. In essence, it's not influenced by your character sprinting or not sprinting, for example.
Right, but the damage
It
from
can be influenced from
the
the
damage
outside.
from gunfire, from falling, and all that stuff is you have a set damage and a spike damage that will affect it, but that stuff is completely separate to his normal wear and tear, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the normal one.
And
The normal wear and tear. That's why I'm
when people
stating that.
design games, they think like you, and they put it like okay, 10 is a round number, because that's kind of what you're getting out, I think. It's like 10 is a round number. Let's go with 10. Okay. So let's look at it from that. Like 10's a round number. Imagine if I made it 10. Okay, well, now if I'm going to be calculating 10, like let's say I had his blood at 10,000, and I have it to be doing something over a 24-hour period. Now I've got to break that 10K up into a 24-hour period. You can see how much harder the math is, even though it still can be done. Now you're getting into much harder math than if I have 12,000
Yeah.
and I need to go over a 24-hour period.
Travis, you kind of missed my point entirely, though. My point was not to balance around 10, although everything can be converted to a percentage. My point was
Complications. You're a goddamn
No, my
engineer.
point-
That's the problem.
it's simplifications. It's not complications. It's
You're an
standardization.
engineer, Ninja. That's what's wrong with you.
You, fuck's sake. Let me present you with a case. You are a U.S. citizen. You've used.
Hell yeah! Let's get bombed!
Yeah! So it may not be that apparent to you. I know you're balancing around the 24-hour mark, which is it's a proper form of scaling, so I can actually make the mental math easy. It's like, a kilometer is 1,000 meters and a millimeter is 1,000th of a meter, stuff like that. That's easy, that's simplified, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but see, I wasn't doing it on that system. I was doing it on a clock system.
Yeah, and you're doing that already, but what I'm saying right now is that you have a system that's uniform, but it's not normalized. After you have a uniform system...
What the hell you mean it's not normal?
Okay. Let me present you with this. I will be reading something out of the project that I'm working on right now. So a couple numbers for you to understand what's going on. There is a number, I'm just going to call something, which is the modulus of elasticity. It's a number. It's 5.14 on the power of the 10 to the power of 9. Okay? And that goes from the power of 9 to the power of 11. It's a value that keeps changing. So you know it becomes 100 times bigger, right? Like, you can
Yes.
understand that much. What I am saying is that you looking from the outset, you're laughing because you don't understand how much it has changed, in essence.
See,
You
this
can't
is
take it
why
into
I was a
perspective.
CEO, because I knew how to deal with engineers. You build the bridge, I drive across it.
What I what I am saying is that there is a technique that you can use to basically, it's a simple one, should be like a couple lines really.
See,
That you
Ninja,
take,
here's the difference. If you
yes,
were doing this mod and you were working with those numbers, you would still be trying to work out your formulas to try to get the perfect blood levels. I've already way past that.
no, I would actually make a normalization matrix, use the inverse of that matrix, and multiply the inverse of the matrix with the health and the matrix itself, and then I would get a normalized value. For me, it's very simple to get that thing out.
Okay, so tell me what your normalized value is.
For what? For the things I'm working on
What
currently?
blood level over there do you think it should be at for it to be considered normalized? What would be a good amount there that make you happy? Now,
Make me happy.
you haven't asked me the golden question yet.
The what?
You haven't asked me the most special question yet. For somebody who's thinking so much about that blood level, you've not asked me the most important question about that blood level yet.
I haven't asked you how you balance your health around. Like, do you balance your health around an enemy shooting at you in essence, or
You didn't ask
internally?
me. See, that's a health level. You didn't ask me how much damage comes from bullets. You got your mic on again. I'm echoing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just did ask you. I asked you how did you calculate that? Like, do you calculate your player's health in essence by scaling against enemy bullets, or by gun? Like, in essence, because a gun shoots a certain amount of damage per bullet. In essence, do you scale your character's HP by guns?
Let off your mic and I'll tell you. Okay. You have a flat damage that comes from different objects, like bullets, missiles, explosions, and then you have a spike damage that comes off of that. Think of it like a crit hit. All of those things are different amounts, and the way it's fit in right now, that 12,000 feels really good. Like a bullet, a single bullet to the head can kill you. A bullet to the hand with its spike damage, you can survive a hand shot or you can survive a foot shot. An explosion, you're not going to survive that. Now, when you start mucking with that blood levels, suddenly with the spike damage from a bullet, you can shoot somebody in the foot or in the hand, and then you'll get a kill. Because now you've got to go back and start adjusting all of those bullet damages and those missile damages from the original Arma stuff. Now you can see like, oh shit, why would I want to do that? So then your next option is go, that's if you went lower with the blood. If you go higher with the blood amount, now suddenly you can shoot somebody in the head with a high-powered rifle, which is what you see in a lot of like the Arma 3 stuff. You can shoot somebody in the head with a high-powered rifle, and they can just keep on running or turn around and shoot at you because the bullet doesn't do enough damage. So you've got to fine-tune that. Whenever you're creating like a health level in a game, if you're trying to get on that more of the realism side of it, most people will say the health needs to be this, and then they'll make all their objects and try to make the damage. What I did was I went through and I adjusted all the damage models to see what kind of damages that was going to get thrown out from different things, and then I matched my health damage to those damage models. You see what I'm saying? I done the damage first.
I'm going to stop you right there. Yeah, I'm going to stop you right there because I want to introduce you to a new concept. You don't understand what normalization means. It doesn't mean you work around a number. It means when you have a value that its unit of measurement is blank, which in essence means that it's not, how can I say this? you have a complex, in essence, an intricate way of balancing things, and everything is dependent upon everything else.
So is
If you
game
take
making.
those values
That's
as they,
standard.
yes, as if you take those values as they are, in essence, like as they are, don't change around your system. Just do not change around your system.
I wasn't changing around
And
my
you
system.
normalize them visually, like if you want to normalize them visually, what's going to happen is that
That's what I'm
they are
saying. It
going to, in
is.
essence,
You're missing it. You have the 24 blood level. You have the 2400 on each level of that little item that changes down there. It changes colors from green, yellow, orange, blue, like it goes through all those colors on 24. Each one of those levels will make it up until 12,000 is your total. Now 12,000, for lack of better words there, 12,000 is the perfect round number based on the other things that I have affecting that blood level over time. 12,000 is the perfect number to work with because I'm working with a 24-hour clock. So it works perfect. I could have made it 2400 on the blood level. That's really low. Or I could have made it 24,000. That's really fucking high. 12,000 was a good number to go into when you're messing with hours and calculating how much things you're going to lose over time and things. So you can see I saved myself a lot of work by doing that. That's the problem. Like, I know you thinking it through too much. That's where I tell you all the time, when you think it through, sometimes the more thought you put into it, you spend so much time trying to think it through to make it perfect, you don't get anything done. You gotta do it sometime, and you do it with the best knowledge you have at the time. I'm sure there's a million better ways to be done, but what I looked at was what's going to give me the fastest formulas for working because I'm doing everything based on the clock. 24 hours is a normal server like cycle, a 24-hour clock.
I get
So
that.
multiples of 24 and things like that, those are the things that I'm going to work with the best. Now the damage, obviously the damages hits in different amounts, but the damage is kind of irrelevant as long as the damage is not too much or too little.
Yes. Okay. Do keep in mind, my native language is not English, so I'm having a harder time articulating what I want to say, especially because I'm being taught in Greek. So give me a second. I will give the best of my ability to explain what I want to say because you're not getting.
You're killing me, Smalls. You're
I'm
killing me.
feeling that you're not getting what I'm saying.
You're killing
Basically,
me,
now you
Smalls. You're killing me.
basically now you have a system currently in place that is dependent on, let's say that you want to species life, let's call it X, or simply Z. I'm proposing to have a transformation in essence, not change what I sound, but make something like y equals something times x in essence. That's normalization. That's what it means. In order for you, or in order for the end user, I mean, for you, nothing's going to change in essence. You will be scripting in the same way as you were doing before with a 20-hour clock system. But as far as the end user is concerned, the end user will be seeing the following.
The end user will be seeing 12,000 blood. They know that's what they got.
The
See, they were never going to see that blood level there. They were only. Gotta let off that fucking button. I'm tired of hearing myself. They were never going to see that 12,000 anyway. They were only going to see the little green boxes changing. I was never going to show that. But they begged me to put the actual number on there so they could see the percentage. Or not the percentage, but what the actual number of blood was. They asked me to put that up there. I was never originally going to put that up there.
Okay, then that changes things around.
Yeah,
but if
see,
it's
this is what
it's going to be there.
This
If
is,
it's gonna
if you
be
look
there,
at the game
Travis.
now with that little box going, this is the way it's supposed to look.
Travis, if it is going to be there though, if it's going to be an option, what I am saying is that if your gun damage is in essence a function of correlated variables, normalization means that you get an amount of non-related new variables where the total number of them is equal to the amount of the old variables, which in essence means, like, I'm going to use the simplest one, which is the percentile thing. Let's say you have your 12k HP is 100% of your HP, and if you take an RPG shot, you know it's going to level to 0 in essence. A kit restores 2.4k, unless I am mistaken, right?
No, the objects heal differently. I've got all that broken down as well.
I remember you speaking about like one out of 24 per hour. That's what I remember, but
Yeah, it's been ages since I've looked at it, but all of it matches up with how it heals. Cause see, when you also do that, like on the blood stuff and everything, all that stuff has a it's based on time as well.
okay. Let's say for simplicity's sake that your passive health regeneration is, in essence, a tenth of. Oh, sorry. Like in 24-hour period, you go from like 0% HP, like 0.0001, for simplicity's sake. Like in the span of one day, you get all your HP back. So in an hour, you get one divided by 20. What is it? 1/24 of your total HP, right? Because 24 hours in a day, that would give you your full HP value. Like, let's say that's the system for simplicity's sake. I'm not saying it's your system, I'm saying that for simplicity's sake, you're getting 1 out of 24, like, yeah, 1/24 of your HP per hour. What I am saying is that 1 out of 24, I'll grab my calculator, give me a second. One out of 24, like, you could say that the player gains, like, it would show on their UI in essence that they're gaining 4.167% of their HP per hour out of 100, which is the same number. You're not changing anything in your coding or your scripting in essence. You could have both run in tandem, or you could give the players the option. What I'm saying is that if someone hops in the game and they're like, what the fuck is this number? They should have a sense of scale. So a normalized value is easier to understand than the actual one. That's what I'm saying.
I don't understand. You've lost me as to how somebody could not understand that number.
Okay, let's
I don't
say
see
you're
how
in
somebody
combat.
could not understand that number.
Okay, let's say you're in combat. And basically, I know friendly fire is on, in essence. And let's say that someone actually wanted to, do some testing and understand some values, and had, me, Kogan shooting at me, in essence. And
This is not, wow, this is not Smite. This game is not going to work out like that. I see now where you're going with it.
No,
You're trying to get a percentage value so you can add items to get stronger hit points and things like that. It's nothing like that at all.
But there are no items, I know. But if I'm getting shot in the foot, I want to know roughly how,
You don't. You never
how much I
will.
get shot for.
You never will. You will never know, because no two shots will ever be the same. If you get shot in the foot, it could take all of your damage. Like, I mean, you could actually die from it. It could take half of it, or it could take some of it. With that spike
that
damage
work
on
then?
it, you have no idea.
How does that spike damage work then?
That's what I'm saying. Like, think of it as like a bonus based on when it hits you. It's based on like where it hits you. It's all random stuff that comes in. So with it being random, there's really no accurate. Like, see, like a lot of games, when you like, let's say you look at something like Smite or something like that. Let's say your base damage is 50, and you have a spike damage of up to 100. Okay, So then you can learn to try to anticipate that, because the worst that you could get hit for is 150. You know what I'm saying? So as long as you could, anticipate of not building your armor against the 150, you could counter that, because the most. Well, see, that's not the way I've done it over here. The spike damage far exceeds what your health is, so it's more of a random. Like if you get hit in the foot, it may do 2,000 damage to you. It may do 27,000 damage to you. You don't know. And that's what I did, is I made that because, think of it like, let's throw it out to the real world for a minute. You could get shot in the foot with a rifle, and you may or may not live from it. The chances of you living are really high if you get shot in the foot, but you really could die getting shot in the foot. The same thing of being shot in the head. There's a really, really tiny chance that if you get shot in the head, you're going to live. But there's a lot of people who have been shot in the head, even in service, with a really high-powered rifle, and they have made it. But it's a really, really rare thing, and I've tried to make out my fighting like that, where nearly every time you get shot in the head on my server, you're dead. You get shot in the torso, you're dead. But if you take an arm shot or a leg shot, you could live. In a very, very rare chance, you could get shot in the head and live, or you could get shot in the leg or the arm and die. It's nothing that you're ever going to be able to calculate. Because then you would have people trying to anticipate and counter that with, like, I wanted Arma to feel a little more, like, I'm not trying to make a realistic game, but I wanted it to be a little more realistic as far as bullets go. And you would have people like you who play, like some of the games where you have stats and auras and things like that, saying, okay, well, if I can only take this much damage in my arm, then, I can sneak out here like this and put only my head and my arm out, because I should be able to survive this. And that's not the way I want you to think in Arma. I want Arma to be more of like, you're just more worried about whether you even get hit or not. I don't want you to be able to calculate those numbers.
In essence, you have people like me that are asking, why do you have that color thing on your health, which is in essence a normalization, because people can understand if they're like on high, medium, or low health.
Right, just a
But
quick
not give a
glance.
number
Just
on
a
it.
quick glance on whether they need to do medical or not.
It's up to someone to decide when they're gonna do medical. Like some people would do medical on low health, some people would
Yeah,
do
but
medical on medium.
But see, each one of those levels, when that little box changes, each one of those levels affects your character differently. Like when you're on that really low level, when you're red and you're low blood, now you have the chance of the fading in and out. You have the shakes. There's a lot of things there that messes with you.
But again, it's up to you, the player, to choose whether or not you're gonna fucking bandage up. You may be